Okay, so after getting some good understanding about basic features of LangChain and what is LangChain, it's time to actually take a look at the LangChain MCP adapter. Now guys, the focus or the requirement that we are looking at is that we need to talk to an MCP server, and the MCP server in this case would be SQLite database, let's say. Now you need to talk to the SQLite database in natural language format using LangChain. Now how could you use that? So this is where the requirement of an MCP adapter arises. So what is MCP adapter for LangChain? So the LangChain MCP adapter is nothing but it's a package that makes it easy to use MCP tools with LangChain and LangGraph. So both. So you can even use it for LangChain and you can also use it for LangGraph. Now you might ask, but what it does? So it converts the MCP tools into LangChain and LangGraph compatible tools, because at the end of the day, your MCP tool should be understood by the LangChain framework as well. And this is what this adapter is actually doing, right? So you can think of it like this adapters wrap the MCP compliant tool so that LangChain can interpret and use them correctly, right? And it enables the interaction with across tools with multiple MCP servers. And the beauty is that you can actually talk to multiple MCP servers at once, and it helps you to integrate hundreds of tool servers already published into LangGraph agents. And rest you can actually read about it, that why do you use MCP adapter. So why you use MCP adapter is because it makes it simple to connect LangChain with the growing ecosystem of MCP tool servers. So today you have SQLite database, tomorrow you want to say interact with file system server, MCP server, third day you want to interact with the Azure MCP server. So it makes it really easy that you can actually connect to different servers using this. And you'll also read about load MCP tools, which is a utility function. We'll take a look into that. But it's always good to read about this and also visit the GitHub page for LangChain. And in that, they've given a very good explanation of the LangChain MCP adapters. Now, we can actually go through this diagram and take a look what it says. So on the left side, if you see, we have the MCP servers. In the middle, we have MCP client, and the last one is the app. So if we start with the MCP servers, these servers are part of the model context protocol system. So the MCP server, if you look at it, they actually provide the context. Context means the background or the setup information. They also provide the tools. So tools means like callable functions, like in this case, you can see the callable functions are add, divide, right? And also the prompts to the clients. So prompts are nothing but the starting instructions for reasoning or tasks, right? And if we talk about the structure of this, so each server will contain many tools grouped by the category. So if you take a look at this diagram, in this diagram we have a math group and we have a data group. So math group will have tools like add, divide, and data group will have certain other tools in it. Then we talk about the MCP client. So the purpose of the client is to maintain a one-to-one connection with the MCP server. And each MCP client lives inside an app. So what it is saying is, if you see this MCP client is actually residing inside an app. Now this could be a cloud desktop app, or it could actually be something like a LangGraph, LangChain agent. And remember, the MCP client connects to a specific MCP server, and it lets the app use that server's context and tools. And here, as you see, we have given two examples: the Cloud Desktop App Client, which connects the Cloud to MCP server, and Py Client, which is a Python-based client. This Py Client is a Python-based client. And we also have the right side, which is the app layer, which is the Cloud Desktop, uses its own client to connect to the server and use the tool. And we have, very important, the LangGraph agent, which uses a function called load MCP tools. And guys, you'll actually look at it in the upcoming lectures when we do the demo and when we look at the code. It's really important that it makes use of this function. So this function actually pulls in the tools from MCP servers through the Py client. So it's actually pulling these tools through the Pi client, right? So this is very important. So this load MCP servers, this load MCP tools is a utility function in LangChain. So this is a utility function inside LangChain that loads the MCP tools from a given MCP manifest, and it parses and wraps them using the MCP adapter, and then it will basically return a list of LangChain compatible tools that you can pass to the agents or chains. So it's always good, just go through it, that how you do it. You do a pip install LangChain MCP adapters, and then you can actually look at the server code, the client code, and yeah, pretty straightforward. So guys, please remember that it's very important that when you're working with LangChain and MCP servers, you need an LangChain MCP adapter, which is nothing but an interface to connect the tools that follow the MCP or model context protocol into a LangChain workflow, right? And again, these tools can be external APIs, functions, or any callable resource. Don't worry, I know it's a bit confusing. When we look at our code and when we go through the real demos, then you'll get better understanding about all this. So keep watching.